Hi, welcome to the Mitches podcast. Today we have Dimi Kolovopoulos.
Yep, nailed it. Nice, thank you.
Did it.
You crushed that. Hell yeah.
I'm Greek on my dad's side, so I should be able to actually pronounce those names.
You're Greek on your dad's side? I was trying to
easier.
figure out where, because there's a lot of Eastern European magnets on your fridge.
Yes. So I'm also like Serbian and Croatian.
Right.
But that's just because that's a trip that I did.
Oh, just around.
Like we just flew to Belgium and then did like major cities up to Helsinki. So we were in like Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia.
Okay.
But you're from Cyprus?
I grew up in Cyprus, yeah.
Okay. And is the vibe just the same as Greece, or?
It's like Greek-esque, yeah. It's definitely if you were, like when you're in Cyprus, you're like, oh, this feels like Greece a little bit. But there are, if you are a Cypriot or a Greek person, you'll be able to immediately recognize the differences, just like the cultural idiosyncrasies which separate the two.
Like if you met a Cypriot in Toronto, like what would tip you off?
I guess just how, like, there's a belligerency to Cypriots. Like, I think that and you can pick out a Cypriot voice in a sea of people, and I think that goes for Greek too. But Cypriot, it's like there's like a rugged nature to it. It's like they've kind of, I've always said, like it's like, you know how patois is like a derivation of English.
Yeah.
That's what Cypriot is to Greek. Right.
Okay.
So Greeks can't understand Cypriots, but Cypriots can understand Greeks.
Ah.
Yeah, and I was always caught between two worlds. So my family was like Greek from like Athens, Greece, and I was in Cyprus. And
is there a snobbery?
Yeah, they think Cypriots. They think Greeks are like full of themselves. They're kind of pansies, right? And Greek people don't even think about Cypriots. That's the thing. They don't give a fuck. But yeah, there's definitely, I was always caught between those two worlds, and I get made fun of a lot because I'll try and back at home I'll be like, hey, I'm speaking Cypriot. No, they'll be like, you're speaking Albanian. Like, shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. Leave us alone. Yeah, it was rough. That's fine.
So, are your parents still back there?
Yeah, both of them are in Cyprus. Yeah, they're really happy now.
And when you're posting these photos of you on a boat, is that in Cyprus?
That's in Greece. Some of them are in Cyprus, but the one that I do annually is in Greece. Yeah, the western coast of Greece.
So this is just like a friends trip you do every year?
It's a friends trip. I take a lot of like gross satisfaction in showing off Greece to like people that aren't from
mean.
there. Yeah.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love seeing those photos.
You're like, I feel gross posting sometimes. I feel like I'm just flexing for no reason here. It's disgusting. Actually, I went to, I did a trip this year and I didn't post anything.
Wow, the restraint.
Yeah, because it just felt like, all right, one Instagram story is enough. I don't need to, like, what am I doing? I'm just making people hate me now.
Yeah,
like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you been before?
I've been to Greece.
Yeah, to Greece. What part?
We were in the islands. My cousin got married there. So none of my family lives there anymore. But I had a cousin who was living in London, England, and she planned a destination wedding. So we like flew to Athens and then went out to like Santorini, Mykonos.
The classics.
We were in Crete for a bit,
Yeah.
which should have been a trip on its own. And
Yeah,
then we
that's
went
the whole thing.
back to Athens and toured the Acropolis.
Yeah. What did you think of Athens?
I
Gringos hate it.
didn't see a lot of it. But I like an intense city, so I actually,
Yeah.
to the extent that I saw it, I was having fun.
Yeah. Athens is it is intense. And there's like around the Parthenon, that area gets very like, it's for the whites, you know? Not that I'm obviously, but you know, like the non-Greek.
Yeah, but like the kind of food we're interested in eating when we're in Greece and like.
Oh yeah, you're gonna find everything you need there.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. Like every time I go there, like I basically I'll do my little, I'll take the Canadians around for a tour and I'll take them to all my favorite restaurants around the Parthenon. Then we're out of there.
Nice.
But it's a good time. Every single time. It makes me want to cry. I love it so much.
So what's the area you go sailing in?
I do want to clarify. I don't do any of the sailing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just jumping off the boat.
Yes, we've hired someone to do the sailing, and we're just drinking and eating the whole time,
Okay.
and then swimming.
I like that.
It's a very lazy trip where you just get taken from one island to a different island. You just get and you just park your boat in front of the restaurant, and you're like, I guess we're eating here tonight, and then you're off to a new place. It's the best.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, it's in the Ionian. It's on the western side of Greece, so it's like Ithaca, Kefalonia, Lefkada, and a bunch of like the smaller islands. They're very green. It's like you ever seen pictures of Sardinia and stuff? Like it's that type of like the coniferous trees just head down straight to the beach. So you get like almost like crystalline green waters. It's insane. Like I love it there. It's unbelievable.
Paradise.
It's paradise. Yeah.
So what are you doing in Canada?
I honestly, every year that passes, I don't know anymore.
Where did it start?
Fuck. I don't know. Okay. I am sounding defeated, but I'm trudging. I do like I don't know if I like Canada. I always like sort of waver in between, but it all started when I COVID happened.
Yeah.
And I was working in London at the time, and I just figured out, why am I paying like all this money for rent when I can we're working remotely anyway. So I went back home to Cyprus, and in Cyprus, I think like I had the same realization that a lot of other people had, and I was like, yo, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like my life is so sick right now, and the only thing that's making me sad is my job. And then I was like, I had these grand plans, like, oh, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna go to Australia. You know, I'm gonna become like a virtual reality environment designer. Like that was like, I bought courses, and then I told my job I was gonna quit, and they're like, oh, don't quit. We have this position open for you in Toronto. I was like, all right, sick. Like, and I just came. And
just adventure.
Yeah, it was just like an opportunity for a fresh start. Yeah.
Were you already doing stand-up?
No.
So you got here.
I got here. Took me about, I'd say about 8 months until I had the guts to be like, oh, you know, all right, let's go to Second City, see what this shit is about. And then I just couldn't stop. Like, I just took off.
That sounds amazing. But when you say virtual reality environment designer, like, is that still maybe on the table?
No.
That sounds amazing.
I think I was, yeah. I mean, I studied computer science in university.
Yeah.
And I was always bad. Like, to this day, I'm a bad programmer. Like, it's insane that people pay me money. I'm so bad at it. I don't have the attention span. I don't have the creative ability to think of complex ways to solve problems. But I've managed to I've just gotten lucky, right?
Yeah.
I've gotten really lucky. And the virtual reality was just I was like, oh, I really want to do something cool that I think I can be good at. And because I'd studied computer science and I had sort of this foundation, I was like, I might as well just keep building these skills. Cause, like, that's one of the things that computer science taught me. Like, no matter what it is, as long as you, like, no matter what your natural acumen is for anything, if you just stick to the script and keep bashing your head against the wall, something's going to crack at some point. And, like, I literally just through sheer will of being like, I'm not failing. I'm not going back home to my parents. I will. And I got a degree. It was a bad degree. I barely passed, but I got the degree and accidentally got hired. And I was like, I'll just keep doing that in virtual reality and something will crack. Yeah. And there was like a big craze of it, especially since COVID. I was like buying headsets and masturbating. Yeah. Like, it was like, oh, I'm going to do something like that. Masturbate. But I was like, that's something creative I could do.
So I was in an airport once and they had like one of those headsets and I went into like a shark's cage. Yeah. And I had so much fun. And then I was like, this is the future. Yeah. And I feel like people are just using it for video games. And I feel like there's
a lot of potential.
I don't want to play a video game.
Yeah.
But I do want to be in a virtual reality fantasy world.
There's going to be an in-between at some point, right? I think the only thing that's holding back the tech right now is just how cumbersome the hardware is. Because you put it on and it's like like no one takes you seriously when you've got this giant piece of shit on you, right? And then you can only really have it on your face for like maybe 40 minutes before you start really getting dizzy, your eyes start hurting, and then it just leaves this big red mark across your face. Like, so that's not good.
Yeah.
But the smaller they get the hardware, you'll be able to start integrating like augmented reality. So like right now you got like Google VR glasses, right? Where you can just sort of patch on, and you can see sort of your messages in the corner. Like that's, I think, where it starts getting usable in real life.
What about like at the movie theater? Like what about like going to a place? Can I actually pull this lower?
Is this lower?
Maybe I want to get your face in. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, the moneymaker. Get it in.
But like where stuff that isn't like at your house and you own it and you're making it as small as possible, but where it's more of like a public thing, like
they do a thing where like in the NBA you can put on the Oculus and you can sit courtside and watch the game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool utilization of the tech.
There's something they just did with like movies where like I think they were doing it with The Matrix, but you watched like some kind of like Matrix experience.
Where like the walls would start melting and they would start becoming code.
Yeah,
and shit.
So you're watching the movie, but then there's like a bunch of other stuff happening around it that ties in with that. So you're it's like I think they call it an immersive experience.
So I think I'm not sure. There's definitely like a bridge between, because I can't remember which movie I saw recently. It might have been Weapons. I saw Weapons in theater, and it was in we didn't get any glasses or anything, but we paid like I think $20 extra, $15 extra because that was the only time we were at the movies and we didn't book in advance because we're idiots, right? And we turned up and the theater had screens on the walls, right?
Yeah.
And on the ceiling. So like when there was like a running forest scene, you'd be like, oh look, there's the leaves are, and I was like, but I don't need that, you know.
Yeah.
It's a cool to have thing, but it didn't really add that much to the experience. I think what you're talking about is just like this next step above that, where you're watching the movie and it's happening, but then you can kind of look around and other shit's happening.
Yeah, or like did you watch Star Trek?
Yeah.
I want to go to the holodeck.
The holodeck, is that, which one's the holodeck?
The holodeck is like they would just like go into this room.
Yeah.
And then they would like be in any world. So they'd go to like Earth in like the 1940s and have an adventure.
Right. Okay. That'll happen at some point. I hope it'll happen, or at least a degree of. They say that like all your senses are located in like a very close together in your brain. So all you need is just like a little electrical stimulus, and it can activate like smell and touch and hear. I don't know. I might be talking out of my ass.
Yeah.
But hopefully it gets to a point where like you get like a Neuralink implant where you're like, oh wow, like I'm on Mars now. That'll be nice. But the fucked up, not the fucked up thing, the obvious thing is the funding behind all of virtual reality is mostly porn. Like that's where the momentum comes from. 'Cause people are like, we want to fuck as much as we can.
Yeah.
Like and then it starts filtering off into other.
So if I want to be a pioneer of virtual reality, I need to start a porn company.
You need, basically, yeah. You'll get a lot of investments straight up.
A porn empire.
A porn empire, which isn't Montreal have? Isn't that the base of all Pornhub or something?
Pornhub is MindGeek, isn't it? And MindGeek's Montreal.
Okay, yeah,
so,
yeah.
They were early. I don't know if that connects to the fact that they have all those sex clubs, maybe like slightly lax rules compared to the rest of North America.
Yes.
But they seem to, get going there.
What is that? Why does Canada have, and maybe Montreal specifically, why is it like known for strip clubs?
I think they're more lax than we are, and I'm not sure
because they're French and dirty.
It's because, okay, so there's the difference between them and us is partly that they're French and we're English, and so we get a lot of weird like rigidity in our culture that they don't have.
Right.
But they also have this thing where they were they became a colony, but the Catholic Church administered it, so they were basically run by the Catholic Church for hundreds of years. And then when they kind of modernized, they had like kind of like a break from the church, and they have, I think, just more like all their swear words are religious.
Right.
And there's
Okay.
like lots, they have more goths, they have more punks, they have more like hatred of organized religion.
Right. So you're saying this is like a based on this closed society they had for so long, they kind of reacted and they're like, fuck it, we're showing Bush at all the strip clubs. We're dyeing our hair and we're smoking cigarettes on the street. Okay, sick.
They are my favorite people within Canada, but I can't move there
Montrealers.
because I don't speak French.
You pick it up. That'd be like a nice little fucking a little experiment.
It's not like, I think French is I think it's hard to be an English speaker in Quebec because they're mad at you.
They hate you. Yeah. People tell me I'd really like Montreal.
You would fit in great because they won't be mad at you for being English. They'll just see you as a Cypriot.
No.
You'll vibe with them.
I think people are just calling me gay. I think that's what they... And then they go, oh, I meant European, but it's like, oh, it's the same thing, right? It's the same... I guess, yeah.
Do you get called gay a lot in Toronto?
Sometimes. Yeah. But, like, that's just my fault. You know? I act kind of gay, you know? And I've done gay things. So, like... It's so fair.
Do you have a part in your stand-up where you go, I'm not gay, but I do gay stuff?
All the time. And I never write it. And I literally will say that word for word. Like, I don't know what my sexuality is. And then, like, people are like, we get it. Like, this is you having an existential crisis.
One of the first things I noticed about you was, like, you would have a jacket with these little, like, puppies on the back of it.
Oh, fuck. That was...
And I was always like... What is this statement that this guy is making?
That's so embarrassing. Yeah. I really loved that jacket. I was like, yo, this is... I'd get so many compliments on it. I'm like, yo, thank you. I thought I looked quirky and shit. Now it's just sitting in my wardrobe. Every time I wear it, I'm like, what the fuck would I...
I love it, though. It's like...
You do? I'll give it to you.
It's your very own vibe. Like,
the little
no
puppies?
one's rocking it.
They shouldn't rock it. I think it's exclusively for... I think it's exclusive for lesbians that work at, like, adoption centers. It shouldn't be... I shouldn't... but fair. I'll give it to you, Karen. I swear to God. I will give it to you. I'm never going to wear it again. Yeah.
So do you feel like your vibe, like how people took you back home versus how people take you here, is very different?
Take me. It's a... I don't know. I left home when I was like 18, and
oh, because you were out of there. Were you always in England?
I left for the UK to go study at 18 years old. I went to Scotland for 5 years, and then I worked in London for another 5 years after that. But home was like I think everyone took me well. But because English was my first language, because my mom is, I spoke English to her, and I went.
Where's she from?
She was raised in South Africa, but she's a super Greek incredibly Greek, like super traditional.
And how'd they end up in South Africa?
I just like escaping war and shittiness.
That's decent.
Yeah, and they just found like Greek communes, you know? They lived with other like white Greek people in fortresses in South Africa because that's how you lived as and they got incredibly racist, naturally, like incredibly racist. And I think at one point, this is around where like apartheid was crumbling down. Like the state of South Africa just got very, very violent.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's pop the next few babies out close to Greece. So we went to Cyprus because my dad met a Cypriot guy, my godfather, and they started a business in Cyprus. And then I'm there.
Did you just speak English to your mom and not your dad?
I spoke English to my mom, and I spoke Greek to my dad. But my dad wasn't as present at home in the earlier days. So I think English became a lot more prevalent, and my dad was ashamed of that I wasn't as like fluent in Greek. Like I was, I grew up in Cyprus, so everyone was kind of speaking Cypriot, but that was also very different to what I spoke at home with my dad. And he was like, no, you must learn how to speak Greek like a Greek person. And like even like he would make me write essays in Greek and shit. Yeah, there's still a lot of shame attached, like to like my friends back home will like make fun of me how illiterate I am. Like it's insane. Like I'll every now and again, especially on the Greek trip, like I'll bring like a couple of my Cypriot friends with me, and they'll immediately call out to the Canadians how stupid I am. Like, and it'll just burst this bubble for me, which is I hate. I'll always go back and forth, and it is like a point of insecurity for me. But what was the question? Where am I going with this? Something about how I get treated differently.
Yeah.
So growing up, I always hung out with the immigrants to the island. So the people who were, so like they went to other English speaking schools on the island. So like a lot of like Arabic kids, a lot of people from other parts of Europe. That's about it. And then the Cypriots who were just kind of like, I kind of melded with them a little bit more, but they always knew I was like, okay, he's like a bit on. He's not a local.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you have Muslim friends then?
Yeah. There's a bunch of friends. Yeah, that I had. Have. I kind of cut them off. No. Yeah. Because we're so close to that part of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that explosion in Beirut that blew up the factory?
Yeah.
Like, Cyprus is so close that like my parents' like windows rattled when that happened. Or they're lying, but that's what my mom told me. Yeah. There's a few people who always like they try and escape whatever conflict is occurring in that region, and they come to Cyprus. Like right now, a lot of like due to the Israel-Palestine stuff, like a lot of Israelis are buying a lot of property up in Cyprus so they can, go somewhere safely.
Yeah.
And right now we have like IDF forces patrolling our airport because so many Israelis are coming over. Yeah, I went over last summer. I was like, Jesus Christ, what the. Like, we didn't have, this guy's wearing AK-47s here. And I was like, oh, I don't know if they're AK-47s, but they look scary. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to the bar. Like, I don't care. Like, I do.
Do you think sometimes the reason people think you're gay is you're just... you're involved in so many cultures that you're just different, and people just, the easy thing to say is like, he's a bit gay.
I think there's an element of that, but I think you're giving other people too much credit for the fact that I might be gay.
Have you ever had a boyfriend?
No, gross. No, ew, that's disgusting, Karen. No, the thing is, I'm not into anything masculine. Like, I don't like I look at a boy, I go, literally, gross. That's disgusting. That's awful. But then, like, Jason Momoa will, like, give an interview, and I'll be like, wow. There's like a bit of that, I've dated a couple trans women, too, and I've never had a problem. To me, it's always been like, I'm dating a woman. So there's been no distinction in my brain.
Yeah.
And I can just completely ignore the cock. Like, I'm just like, oh, it's a big clit to me, Yeah. If my parents hear this, they're going to be devastated.
I won't clip this specifically.
No, yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm being offensive, but yeah.
It's funny, because I think it's very personal, right?
Yeah. Sexuality in general?
Yeah, and, what you consider, if you're into a specific gender, what you consider constitutes that gender.
Yes, and I think there's a lot of effort to categorize people, or be like, oh no, I'm bi leaning, ambidextrous or whatever. It's not relevant, But I just think just like what you like, and that feels good. It feels good, you know what I mean? And then if you feel shame, that's something you got to sort out. And I feel a lot of shame about a lot of stuff all the time, which is fine. It's natural. It's part of fucking figuring shit out,
Do you have a lot of female friends?
No, I hate them. No, I do. I do. Yeah. And let me see. Yeah, I have a prevailing majority of male friends, but there are definitely female friends in my life, for sure. Yeah. Why'd you ask? Do I seem like someone that doesn't talk to women a lot?
I don't know. I guess I'm like curious if it's like your sexuality or your gender that's unusual.
My gender.
Yeah.
Interesting. Would you categorize me as someone who's gender fluid?
This is like the longest I've ever talked to you, and
Yeah.
I think other than the puppy's jacket,
Yeah.
I got like a masculine vibe.
Yeah. I feel masculine. Like, I like being hairy, and I like being gross, and I like being dumb, and I like those parts of me. And like when there is a girl in my life, especially one that like we were talking about this earlier, like I think the polarities between us like are really prevalent. Like,
Yeah.
she will immediately fix my life. Immediately. Like she'll
Yeah.
she'll tell me which socks to wear. She'll like fix my blinds. Like help me like tweak little things while I'm in the kitchen. Be like, oh, just take off the skin off the sausage and it'll just be creamier. I'm like, what the hell? Like, no one told me that. It's like really nice stuff. And then, but she's also, they're usually also very attracted to like the very standards of maybe redundant standards of masculinity that I present to them, like sort of this
Yeah.
this like lumbering oaf of
Yeah.
just like,
I was thinking about this the other day that people will say, and it's correct, that women are attracted to confidence, but I think people always think confidence like 6'4" and like runs a business and is like, But sometimes like the confidence that I've liked in men is just like you're 15 and you're talking to another 15-year-old about his job, part-time job, and you realize he doesn't try at it. And you're like, oh, because I worry and try all the time, but like this idiot is just
Coasting.
doing it and
Yeah.
he's getting by. And that's like, there's always been something so like relaxing to me about men because they're trying less hard. And like, I love your confidence.
I think with men there's probably less of a magnifying glass on us all the time, right? And I think when a woman enters like usually a male dominated space, just like the little things you got to watch out for are just that much more monumental than what the average guy has to think about. So he's like, you look at a guy just coasting, but he genuinely has less things to worry about most of the time. Like you might be walking around and be like, oh fuck, like is my shirt too low today? No one's paying attention. Like, what the? I've spent all night thinking about this fucking presentation. And this dickhead staring at my tits. You know what I mean? But yeah, the coasting is just naivety. That's what it is, right? And then I think, on average, girls are just a little bit more aware, and it's a curse and also a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, but depends how you take it. I think that's why, if girls in stand-up, like if a girl can stick it through stand-up, she'll be so much funnier than any of the dudes, because she's just like putting up with so much more shit, like, and she's like exposing herself to so much more, just harder trials, right?
Yeah.
Because like you're going out, and it's just you're going out all the time. You're surrounded by dudes. That can't feel good all the time, right? And you might be the only one there. So like eventually, if you just keep pushing, that means you want it more than all these motherfuckers who need like a fucking herd just to go to an open mic and laugh at each other's stupid jokes, which I'm guilty of. I do that shit all the time. If I didn't have my group of friends, I wouldn't do stand up.
I do feel like I have to be like more like forgiving because you're just like encountering more like
Morons.
Yeah, and just people who are not considerate of your perspective. And then but I think that suits me because I've always liked weirdos and people who struggle to fit in. So like I can sort of have a certain perspective on all these male comedians that lets me get through it. But like
you can empathize.
Yeah.
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 Do you find yourself like, where do you put yourself on that spectrum?
In terms of being a weirdo?
Yeah.
Well, it's weird in stand-up because I feel like I'm not as much of a weirdo as a lot of people. And because I'm in my 40s now, I can compensate for so much of what I have struggled with in the past. So I feel like I roll up to things and then I'll make people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But I'm like, this is like the peak of me and I'm about to descend again.
Yeah. I'd never even imagine you making someone feel uncomfortable. Do you feel that when you walk into like an open mic space or something, or
More
a show?
like when I'm like making friends with people.
Right.
like, especially like if I'm talking to a girl who's in her 20s and she's struggling to like eat right and get to her job every day.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and you're like, I've sorted this shit out years ago.
Yeah, it's a different life phase, and
you don't have time to be a mentor, right? You just want a buddy.
Well, and you can't really mentor people in adulting because it's sort of like an experience thing. Like anything you can learn, you can get it from a YouTube video, and the rest is just doing it over like 20 years, and then you know how to do stuff.
Yeah. Do you think you've figured it out?
There's a lot of stuff, like new things that now I'm focused on, like I feel, but yeah, just in terms of being able to take care of myself. Like I used to freak out all the time, like just
over anything.
Yeah.
That's normal, right? When do freakouts stop? You don't freak out as much, I guess.
I think at a certain point you realize like you're not gonna like die or end up homeless easily. Like, not that it is easier than ever to become homeless. I don't want to negate like that people struggle with stuff, but like even
you got a foundation.
I just think like when I was younger, I was like in an emergency mode all the time and very afraid of. I had a lot of unrealistic fears, and now I still worry a lot, but it's like more about things that I can actually work on.
That's probably just an overactive imagination too, right? Like pair an overactive imagination with like a modicum of an iota of intelligence, and you're like, oh well, I guess there's a 1.5% chance of this plane dropping once we cross the Gulf of Mexico, because like you're just aware of it more. But I think with age, like you just have more and more evidence that you're fine.
Yeah.
You know, and that it's like with stand up, right? Like you're just the more sets you go, like, oh, this joke, I'm funny, you know, and then you kind of enter. Sometimes it fails entirely, right? And you're like, no, who the fuck? What am I doing? Like, I hate but like, you kind of build this sort of bedrock of confidence somewhere, and I just think it's your brain just digesting data, and you going like, ooh, nice, cool, I'm not dead. I pay rent every month. Nice, yeah. I think I'm getting a bit like that now.
How old are you?
31. 31, and I've never felt sexier. I feel disgusting inside, but I feel good outside. You know, no, I'm turning very fat. I'm gaining weight, and I have diarrhea a lot. I'm not even trying to be funny.
You're just stating facts.
Yeah, I'm tough to be around.
I do think most men don't have enough fiber in their diets.
I have no fiber in my diet.
And I've literally thought about putting it into my stand-up, like as a public service, because I feel like a lot of guys go on stage and they'll be like, well, now that I'm 40, I don't shit right. And I'm like, it's not because you're 40, it's because you eat like a non-human. Yeah, you still eat like fucking, what are those chicken dinosaur nugget things? And you call that a meal? Yeah, there is no, that's what I mean. Before, I think that's what we were talking about. Like, when a girl's in my life, she will fix my diet. Yes.
You know, she'll be like, oh,
just throw eat this a kiwi every day.
Yeah. Just drink this, you know, this turmeric shot or whatever. Like, ooh, you know, it's ginger, oh, spicy, you know. Wow, I haven't like a fruit bowl. Wow, you know. And then she leaves for a week or whatever, and we break up, and I'm like, oh no.
Like foraging in the yard.
Yeah, I think that's such a prevalent thing in stand-up, like especially like I don't think I'll ever not need to be mothered. I think like I don't need to be mothered, but my life is better if there's a matriarch in my life, sort of being like, hush, you know.
Do you have siblings?
2 younger sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, they hate me.
Do they?
Yeah. Or I don't know if they do. I think we just don't have. I don't think we're very close. I wish I was closer, but.
Are you a lot older than them?
One is, I think, a couple years gap. The other one is, I think, 5.
And are they abroad somewhere?
They're both in the UK right now. Yeah. Both. There's a lot of drama in my family right now because. Ooh, I shouldn't talk about this. They both have boyfriends and they're both happy. Yeah. And they're closer with my parents too. But also, I think that's probably a proximity thing. And also just being girls and being sort of... I think we went through like whatever trauma I grew up with, growing up in like sort of my family,
Yeah.
I just didn't have the capacity to let it go.
Ooh.
And they just did because they're more emotionally capable than me.
Yeah.
And I like to hang on to stuff because I think it gives me character, but it just makes me an idiot, really. And I'm only hurting myself. Like, that's a whole other thing. I think I just figured that out, by the way. I don't know.
That's amazing.
I don't know
This
if
is why
that's...
you got to come on my
Yeah.
podcast.
Can I pay you to come?
Once a week.
Yeah. Look into the camera. I'm sorry, Dad. Yeah. Do you work on yourself a lot? You part of that?
I feel like, okay, like I did a lot of intense work at like 35, and then I think I was like self-helping a lot, and then it was like my biggest hobby for a few years, and now it's a bit more like I'm just living, but there's sometimes like last year I was having anxiety attacks on the subway, and then, which was something I had in the past, so I kind of like went back to therapy, but just for like a few sessions. And some of the stuff that I do, it's increasingly more esoteric and fun and maybe not therapeutic. Like I'll just have like a cold plunge phase or something, but I feel like I'm mostly kind of like I'm okay.
Right.
Other than I always feel like I need to know myself a bit better.
Do you feel like you've cracked? Do you feel like you does? Because I think I struggle with that. Like especially when I get high, if I smoke a joint, all these thoughts will come up, and I'll be like, well, none of these thoughts are real. Like I feel like I'm like I don't even want to pull on this string, and I'll be like, let it go, and I'll sort of try and like stare at my phone to numb the thoughts. So but then I'll come out of it, and I'll be like, I don't even know, like, who am I? Like I don't know who I am. Like I think the older I get, there's a foundation of like of knowledge of like, this is who I am. Yes. Yeah. And I guess it's the things that make you feel good, right? But I don't know. And I'm always curious to meet people who like spend time and to get to know themselves.
Yeah.
And have the, spend hours in therapy or like are introspective, because how much of it is a narrative? Like how much is just stuff that you need to support? Like how much of this like deck of cards is really, is it rigid? Like, I don't know. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah. No, because you can have a kind of story that is who you think you are now, and then at another point in your life, you can have a totally different one.
Yeah. And that's normal, right? The fluidity should be part of growth. And we like to see it as growth because it's like, oh, we're heading in the right direction, or like but it could be cancerous growth. It could be like heading in all directions at once.
Delusion, right?
Delusion.
Like, I think, but then I also think delusion is sort of like, can be a path to finding yourself. Like you get obsessed with something, or you think you're something, so you walk down that path for a bit. And the fact that you wanted that is telling you something about yourself. But you'll eventually realize like how much of it is real and how much of it is not.
That's what stand-up is to me. Stand-up was the one thing I was like, I like this. Keep doing it, And I hadn't had a thought like that in like a decade.
Yeah.
Where I was like, keep doing it. Like, wow.
Did it connect in any way to like something you'd been as a little kid?
Yeah, for sure. I think there were little moments in my life where I'd been on stage as a teenager, and I remember clearly leaving those moments being like, I've never felt happier. I think the first time, and then I had spent like 10 years of my life like working in like corporation, like I was Wolf of Wall Streeting type of dude. Just it's suit like and tie.
The least individualistic.
Yeah.
No one cares who you are as a person.
Yeah, and you lie to yourself.
Express yourself.
Yeah. Like for me, I was like, my dad was in tears that someone was willing to pay me, And I was like I was proud of myself through his eyes, like I'm fucking doing it, and I would like code for like corporations up until like 4 a.m. and wake up at 6 and go to work and like do all that. And then once COVID happened, I was like, oh, what do I want to do? And stand-up was one of those. Like, and I was like, ooh. I think you are 100% right. Like, I was like, what did I like when I was a kid? I like basketball. I like dinosaurs. And I like stand-up. But I just started, I was like, oh, let's just do those things,
But I think that is the most genius way to, like, know yourself and be on the right path.
Yeah, just sort of be like, what did I just gravitate towards?
Yeah.
When no one told you what the rules were. Yeah. And I'm really, really thankful that I accidentally came across that. If it wasn't for COVID, I think I'd still be, like, really spiteful.
Yeah.
And
I think I didn't know, like, because I kind of did the, like, getting sober, working on myself, and then was really focused on my corporate job, like, and I was trying to do credentials in order to, like, improve on that. And then it was, like, just after COVID, I did some improv just to, like, get myself out of the house and, like, interacting with people again. And then and I think I didn't know I needed a creative outlet. Like, it was like I had a problem, but I didn't know that I had a problem.
Gotcha. And once you discovered the improv and the stand-up, you're like, other things are feeling better now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm a whole person and not.
Oh, that's awesome. What drew you to... You still do improv?
No, and I don't think, like, the improv was kind of... Like, I don't know, it got me into Second City, but then my favorite things that I did there were my sketch comedy writing class and the stand-up class. And I guess I do want to do some acting, but I just think the stand-up suits me so well because I'm performing, but I'm writing. I'm performing my own, something I wrote.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to be able to write for TV. And then I think if I was, my ultimate acting would be like acting in something I wrote.
Okay, that's awesome. Have you done acting before?
No. Like, I feel like it's something I would have pursued when I was a teen, but I got really into, like, my friends and partying. So I think I sort of, like, abandoned certain hobbies before I got going on them.
Getting into your friends is such an awesome sentence. I was just into my friends. Yeah. No, I get it entirely. Yeah. Friends can suck you in. Do you think have you ever been on camera and acted or anything?
I've been auditioning for, like, non-union
Oh, really?
commercials.
Okay. That's awesome. Just, like, solo going out and being like, hey, I'll throw my hat in the bucket.
Like, yeah. Well, I got an agent, and then I've been, like, taking acting classes, but I just haven't landed anything yet.
Okay. That's awesome. Again, another thing that I'm jealous of, I have an inability to be on camera.
What?
I am so in my head anytime someone just goes like this. Or there's any type of recording device.
Yeah.
It feels so unnatural. It feels like I'm playing, there's a marionette behind me.
Yeah.
And he's, like, moving Dimi, but it's not right. And maybe they can't tell it's not right, but I can tell, like, I'm not there. I'm so conscious of this motherfucker pointing his shit at me.
So what if you did, like, if you were doing improv on stage, would that make you...
I've done improv on stage, and you know what happened? I screamed, I'm gay, about 25 times. It was a disaster. It was at Tonight Bar. People were like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I know, I'm gay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna host an improv night just to
see me, like, crumble. It was truly, I think Cameron Phoenix or someone was just like,
but
just, like, patting me on the back.
How is that different than you doing your stand-up on stage? And you said,
it is mostly me
you
screaming.
said before we started recording, you have a history of debating.
When I was a kid, we went on, like, these sort of pan-European debating things, and you'd be part of a team, and you'd have to put forward your motion and bring it into European Parliament-esque spaces, and I got to travel and quite a lot when I was a kid because I was representing technically my country when I did it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was. I never, again, something I wasn't good at it. Like I I think I was articulate enough and a good hang to bring me along for the ride. And I think that counted. The talent pool for where I came from was shallow enough for me to poke my head enough and get those opportunities.
Yeah. Whereas, like, the candidate from a bigger country might have been, like, very...
Yeah. And I'd go, and, like, people would come in from, like, the UK or Germany, and I'd be like, these guys are fucking geniuses, you know? And I'd always be in the back with, like, the kids just, like, you know, sneaking cigarettes and, like, vodka bottles, and we just get up to no good, like, fingering each other. Like, I was, like... I haven't changed at all since that like 14-year-old dude in Helsinki. Just
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love how close you were to other countries. Like, how many countries do you think you'd been in by the time you were 18?
Maybe 6 or 7, but truly only because of that debating thing. Because I grew up on an island, and the only vacation that my parents would do with me is like we'd go to Greece. Where my grandparents were, like extended family and shit. So we just go to Greece or we'd hang out in Cyprus and like, great, the paradise of the world is just here in this corner of the Mediterranean. I only went to like Spain or Germany or Finland or the UK through that debating thing.
Yeah.
And then really the first time I escaped the bubble of my little paradise was when I went to go study. And when I went to go study, like, I'd have a little bit of, like, pocket money, and I'd be like, oh, let's head down to Amsterdam with the boys, you know, take some shrooms, or, like, fuck, my parents are going to hate this podcast. And they will listen to it.
That sounds amazing, though.
Yeah.
Like, where in Scotland were you?
I was in Glasgow. And my girlfriend at the time was in Edinburgh, and I'd flip back in between the two cities. Yeah, it was... I didn't appreciate it at the time. Most of the time I was in Glasgow, I was in a basement doing ketamine. That was most of my experience in Scotland.
But that sounds like a good way to get to know people.
Yeah, other ketamine users, yeah. Which is most of Glasgow, to be fair.
Like, you weren't at a tourist site, like, you know what I mean? You were, like, in the country doing shit other people were doing in the country.
Yeah, just in basements, just like... No, I love Glasgow. To this day, I'm still friends with the boys I lived with because it was like 6 guys in a basement. Just complete fucking degenerates. Like, girls hated us. Like, we were just pussy repellents. Like, it was just insane how like it was awful. But I loved every second.
Where
of
are they
it.
mostly from?
The UK, and we had a guy from the Netherlands. We had a guy from Austria, and an Irish guy, and the rest were spread around from the UK. Yeah. Nice. And then we had like our extended crew. Because I think I can't remember. In Scotland, European Union members could study for free. Oh. And the English had to pay. And the Scots could go on for free. Which is cool. I
like that system.
Yeah. I don't know if they've changed it or I'm talking out of my ass, but there was always like, yeah, very tiny fee for me being here. Yeah, it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. You ever been to Scotland?
No. I've always just liked Scottish people.
They're the best, yeah. There's like a whimsical nature to them and very grounded, also very grounded part to them, which I like. And there is a cultural difference between them. All parts of the UK. That's what I really like about the UK. You can go like 20 miles north of London, and it's like, oh, you guys are speaking different, you know. And you just go up another 20 miles, and you're like, oh, you guys are even speaking completely different.
And it feels like there's a lot of people who are funny, but in different ways. Yeah,
I was actually really intimidated by how funny people were. I was intimidated by everything in the UK because I was like, oh, I started off being like, oh, I'm fucking short here. Like, I knew I was like where I was from, I was kind of average.
How tall are you?
Like, barely 5'8", scraping it, like kissing 5'8" with the edge of my nose, you know?
My dad will say his height as 5'8.5".
Is he lying?
Well, now he is because he's shrunk.
Oh,
But
okay.
doesn't know he's drunk.
I forgot that happens. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna be under 5
You know,
bucks.
your nose gets bigger and your earlobes hang and your balls start going down, right?
Yeah.
And then you just start
But-
turning into a gremlin.
But yeah, like in my family, if you're like 5'10", you're very tall.
Yeah, gigantic.
Yeah.
5'10", you're playing center on our national basketball
Yeah.
team in Cyprus. Like you're legitimately. Like I played that basketball growing up. If you were 180, you were a big. And you wonder why we get dominated.
So are Scottish people really tall?
Scots, no. I think they're slightly shorter than British people. And I think that's probably like a just nutritional thing. Just like, but that's also because like just
They haven't reached their peak heights yet.
no. They just kept on getting pillaged on by the British and the Sacs. I don't even know. But they're generally a little bit shorter. But I think I was just surrounded in a place where like it was a completely new place, and I just didn't feel like a big dog anymore. Like I wasn't clever anymore. 'Cause I was just a small fish in a bigger pond, and all the assumptions I'd made about my character were wrong. I wasn't smart. I wasn't cool. I wasn't good looking. Like I just felt like a fucking idiot. And then I just started doing drugs like all the time.
Which is not helpful.
No, it's not.
During the self-esteem crisis.
No, it's not good. But that's why it was everything was fun though. I feel like I'm complaining. I loved every second of it.
But I think that's the thing with being young is you can be very insecure and like I feel like I was very emotionally unstable, but I was also having like the best time.
Yes.
Because when something was fun, you were just so in it and you were so jazzed to be around like other young people.
And you're also you can digest shit a lot easier in the sense like if your body chemistry is off at 22, you won't notice because maybe your tummy will feel weird or that bout of anxiety that levels you, makes you cry on the train. At 22, it's just like it's warm in here. You know, that's all it is. It's nothing. Like I didn't have a hangover until I was 28. I didn't think like genuinely. I was like, I feel shit. Anyway, let's go fight, you know, or something.
Yeah.
Not that I fight, but like I didn't care. Like now it's like, oh, cancel everything. Like I'm shutting the blinds for weeks. Like I've been drinking for 2 days now. The amount of anxiety I had all day today has been brutal. But it's completely me not adjusting my behavior and thinking about future Dimi. Because I'm an idiot. That's all it is.
You gotta get into like the old man.
I am trying to. I'm getting better.
It can be fun, like the 30-something.
Self-care.
Yeah.
It's been fun because you know how I know it's been fun when I do it. And I'm like, and I wake up like without a hangover and like really nicely on a Saturday. I'll literally be like, wow, does the rest of the world live like this? Wow, like, oh, I've never even heard birds chirping before, like, you know. And I just sit there with my, reading my book. I'm like, oh, I can get through a chapter and not look at my. This just feels unbelievable. And then I'll just like someone will come like, hey, you want to go for a drink? Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then I'll just repeat the cycle.
Do you read a lot?
I've been getting back into it now.
What are you reading?
Mostly the most escapist fantasy literature I possibly can.
I love it.
And the problem I had is I think every person has is like my attention span kept on depleting. And when I was a child, I would read insatiably. Like there was always a book, multiple books going through. And then as technology just got better, I just switched.
Yeah.
Now, and sometimes I started off and I was like, I want to get back into reading. That's a really good habit to maintain. I've always loved it. I would pick up books and I'd lose interest. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I found out it's not the book. It's just the book I've selected that's the problem.
Yeah, because you're like, I should read this book.
Yeah, exactly.
But the book you're gonna love is
some. It's like picking what you remember you loved.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like dragons, Yeah. And I would just like, and now I plug my shit into ChatGPT, and I'll be like, what I like this book. I like this book. I like this book. These are the themes I'm into. What are your top 5 recos?
Yeah.
And it'll give me a breakdown, and I'll be like, which one? Pick your thing I should read, and I'll go.
What's your
from there.
absolute favorite thing you've read in the last 5 years?
Ooh.
Something like deeply, beautifully magical.
The last 5 years.
Or ever, but it can't be like a kid's book.
Oh. I think the book that had a very profound impact on me was Contact by Carl Sagan.
Oh, shit.
And it was one chapter. It's at the end. They made it into a movie.
With Jodie Foster?
Jodie Foster. But I hadn't seen the movie. I just read the book. And then I don't know what I think. I don't even remember the order.
I haven't read the book, but I watched the movie as a teenager.
Right at the end, they meet the aliens. And the aliens are so advanced that they present to the humans as if they're gods, effectively. And it kind of just... And I was sort of on a... I was very, like, adamantly Reddit atheist type of guy.
Yeah.
And it kind of really defined what was possible. I just knew that whatever... It cemented the idea that whatever we came up with as people can't be true. And if we think that our imagination is capable of painting a picture to this, then there's an arrogance to that.
Yeah.
And it just made me, like, to this day, I don't, like, you can tell me you believe anything. I'm like, oh, can't prove it. Might be. And I don't care as much. It's because of that book. I go, like, the possibilities are infinite. And who am I to be like, that's wrong, you know?
Yeah. No, I have, like, a kind of idea of, like if you knew what things were, like, it would bend your mind backwards. Like,
we're not capable of it. Like, we're truly not. I don't think we are. And, like, everyone was like, no, the pearly gates, or, like, leprechauns will eat your ass in the morning. Like, I'm like, all right. Like, whatever makes you sleep.
Do you feel, though, there's something, like certain types of, like, fiction or, like, experiences in nature that sort of, like, blow your mind are, like, necessary, like, to have those sort of, like, regularly throughout your life? Sort of like you have to work out. So often it's like you have to, like, have your mind sort of, like, encounter something that reminds it how massive everything is, or...
In nature, I don't know. I think it's good that people are educated on how small they are. I think more often than not, people are just completely unaware of just how insignificant of a speck the Earth is. And, like, they throw numbers at you, and you're like, quintillion, billion light years, and, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's so big you don't even understand it. And, like, somehow your day matters, you know what I mean? Like, or, like it's little shit like that I think is important. As far as, like, nature, or I think it's important that you just sort of... I think you should swim.
Yes.
Swimming is good in a nice sea. There's no nice seas in North America. I haven't found any. They're all... I was in Mexico last week. Ugh. Like Cancun area.
Yeah.
Gross waters. Gross. Like,
disgusting.
It's just... if it's not the Mediterranean, get the fuck out of my face. Genuinely.
So, we need to go to the Mediterranean and swim there.
You need to go swim in the Med. The closest water I've actually seen in North America is in the Bahamas. But they have sharks.
Okay.
And if you want to go swim in those crystal waters, you need to be taken out in a little speedboat. And you need to go out, like, one of those, like, little islands off the Bahamas. The beach is just, like, white sand and just deep. Well, in Greece, it's just like, ooh, look at these beautiful rocks, and, like, oh, the trees, like, oh, the swallow. Like, it's much more magical. I have a friend that's from the Bahamas, and I always tease him about this. I have a very... It's actually very hard to take me anywhere, because I have to be like, Dimi, just... Everyone knows Greece is better. Just shut the fuck up.
You know how in, like, vampire lore, when, like, the vampire has to sleep in, like, the earth from, like, Transylvania?
In a coffin,
Like,
yeah.
You need your, like, Mediterranean swimming.
I literally need to just have a little bathtub of olive oil that I can just lay in. What are things you've experienced that, like, in nature? Like, what was your answer to that question?
I just think I need just to have my mind blown from time to time. And it could be a science fiction novel, or it could be, like going on a hike.
Right.
I think I spent some time in the Rockies, and that was formative for me. But I feel like everywhere I go, I find really beautiful nature.
Things. Isn't that like there's a Jordan Peterson tweet that people reuse, and it goes, there are cathedrals everywhere for people with the eyes to see them. Something like that. Everyone's like, what the
Peterson,
hell?
I always have a weird overlap with libertarian people, but yeah. And he has a whole thing about mythological thinking that I'm like, I don't like him because I feel like he came into the world through like shitting on trans people, but like I would have fun with him at a party.
Yeah. I think I'd like to think I wouldn't feel stupid. I'd think he's full of himself, or I don't know, because that's the thing. Like, I always have opinions about people and who they are online, but like after pumping content out online, I realize how separate that is from me.
Yeah.
From actually who I am. So I always try and reserve my judgment.
Yeah.
But overall, Peterson is embarrassing at times, but also helpful at times, but also terrible at times. Like it's a spectrum of things. Yeah, the most politically correct answer I could have said. I used to like him. Now I don't. Now it's embarrassing. What was I gonna say? Oh, nature thing. This is how stupid I am. I went by myself off the coast of the Dominican Republic, and I lived on a boat for a week.
What?
And I swam with migrating humpback whales.
Fuck off.
Swear to God. And the whole time, like the most spiritual, eye-opening, like people were coming out the water crying, like I was swimming, like humpback whales in their calves, like they came here to look after their babies. And like for me, it was a dream to do this. And I still like after the trip was over, I was like, oh, I can't wait to show the girls that I'm fucking these videos. Like that's how vapid I am. I'm just like that. I was just like surprised at how empty. I was just looking. I was like, what the fuck,
It just means you still have an ego, but everyone does.
Really? Yeah. I hate that. Have you killed yours?
No, not even.
Not even close?
Yeah.
The fucking is tied to the ego? Showing off to girls? That's ego, right?
Yeah.
That is ego.
I feel like it's one of those instincts. It's like anger. Like, you don't have to, like, not have it. And people get weirdly puritanical. And they're like, I'm never going to be this anymore. But it's something slightly different than that. I think just, like, using it in the right way.
Managing it, yeah.
But I feel like we need to wrap up.
Oh, I was having a blast here.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
I've loved having you on.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to plug?
Three Little Birds Comedy. We're trying to grow that. We're not doing well because
What venue do you do it at?
We were doing at Real Jerk Legacy. Our next show is at the Daisy Junction, Daisy Food Junction, October 4th. So next Saturday.
Nice.
And we had a show last night, but we didn't sell any tickets. And yeah.
Okay, so look for Three Little Birds, Desi Food Junction.
Yes, next week.
Okay. And who are you on socials?
Spit_bandit. I should probably change that at some point. But Spit.
Yeah, let's get your name into it.
Yeah, yeah. Kolovopoulos comedy. Yeah. That'll be sure. Comedy. No, I'm not even. Maybe if I grow more. I don't know. I'll think about it. But thank you, Karen. Appreciate this.
Thanks so much, Dimi.
Yeah, thank you.